Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Courageous Conversations, where we're all about awakening souls and real talk. It's a platform that was inspired, in fact, by the eclipse recently, to encourage people that I believe are beautiful and courageous, authentic souls to share their stories. In my sort of refreshingly straight talking style, no mincing words. We just get down to it and we just talk about, the journeys and what makes these people that come onto this platform and speak with me courageous. So I want to welcome Keely to
Thank you.
this morning for you, as we're across the other side of the world. And I just want to just ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll go into why you've come here and why you're working with me and all these other things, but maybe just a little bit about yourself and, a little nutshell of your healing journey.
A little nutshell of my
It's
healing
hard to
journey.
do a
Goodness,
nutshell.
what
Sorry.
a question.
I know it's a hard one. Yeah, it's
Uh,
just more of
First and
a,
foremost,
yeah,
first and foremost, I'm a
yeah.
mum. I'm a mum. I've always wanted to be a mum from a very young age. And my healing journey really started probably not so long ago, when I realized that the life that I'd led has, up to this point, hasn't necessarily been the life I was put on this planet for.
Powerful.
So it dawned on me, and I probably went, I don't know, no, I don't think I went searching. I was going to say I went searching for it, but I don't think it did. I think it appeared in my life at a time that I was prepared to be able to accept it into my life. So it's only been very short. My pivotal time was when I turned 50.
Wow.
It was a time of change. It was a time where I thought, if I hadn't used the degree I'd received as a mature student, I was never going to. But that change also brought on a change within myself and what I saw to be a time of change in many areas of my life. So yeah, my healing journey only really started 2.5, 3 years ago.
Fantastic. How exciting. Do you know, it's happening for so many people like this. They're just stepping into, obviously we've had, which I speak to a lot because it's very poignant. We've had a collective upheaval. Yes, there were things taking us in that way, but especially in the West, one cannot ignore, what happened with the Big C. And obviously the last 4 to 5 years, it has catapulted people into their personal awakening, into their personal healing journey, big time. People like you who've had a spark drop in you, and it's like timing, right? So you had this, you're talking about this pivotal moment, but I really want to whittle down to what was the sort of, when you met that fork in the road and you decided to really get courageous with yourself and find the bravery to step into this place wholeheartedly. What was one or two or three even real trigger moments that you just went, okay, I've just got to do this. I've got to make change. I've got to something,
Yeah. I think it was my love of crystals. I went to a crystal course and met the wonderful Cara, and through her I then found a 6-week online course called Raise Your Frequency, and that is where I met you.
Yes.
And each week was just incredible. For me, it was, oh my goodness, yes, I want that information. Yes, I love that about that courageous woman that has taken that part of that course.
It was pretty cool.
It was, but I can remember, like, out of the 6 weeks, 5 of those weeks were reinforcing what was already in my heart and in my head. But there was one week that, there was just so much information, so much stuff that I hadn't heard about. You know, the torus field, this third, fourth, fifth dimension. What was all this? And of course, that was your week.
I did grab it
So
on, didn't
funnily
I?
enough, I'm
Yes.
working with you now.
Yes. Love
And
it.
you know, I was looking through my notes from it yesterday, and I just couldn't write enough down.
Aww.
And in some ways, that 6 weeks gave me so much information, and I wanted to investigate so much of it. I took on too much on board, I think, and I overloaded myself.
Yes.
So then what I did is I sort of had to have a bit of a break. I had to step back from it.
Yeah.
And then just after Christmas, I enrolled in another online course, but I just really wasn't ready for it. I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And then after that, another little break. And then on social media, these little posts appeared. And I thought, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. Oh my gosh, yes, that's me. Oh, that's me. And that was when I had my second session with you.
Yes, because we did have one a long time ago.
That's sort of like how it went. So yeah.
Oh, that's such a blessing to hear. And yes, I do understand that the overload because of the information. And often it's great to have it's wonderful to have the information, but we in the West, generally, I no longer live in the West, but we tend to have a tendency to not take time for integration. So we go to the next thing because we're taught to be these powerhouses that keep moving, and let's just keep on striving through. We are living in a time, firstly, that requires a heck of a lot more stillness and within, because the only way out is in. The only way out of all this crapola is going in. And we need to take those moments. Like, for example, when I'm doing sessions with people, I won't do, a session. I won't do 2 sessions with a person in a week. Hell no. They need time to integrate. Even if they're going through something really big, I don't push them through because it can overwhelm the body. It can overwhelm the DNA, the senses. So you were just probably a little bit overwhelmed with information. It's wonderful that you did it, but then you got to step back and you got to let the natural discernment drop in. Let the natural feeling like, what do I really need? Do I need more information? Or do I possibly need to work on some of the things in my life that are holding me back that only I can do in a way of doing deep inner work, And I think that's also where you came to, because it's like you have to look at yourself, and there's different things that we can do, and there's different learnings, and they're great, don't get me wrong. That's like my awakening teachings. That's all learnings, teachings, right? I have some embodiment practices and some activations within there, but they're not the same as firstly looking at yourself, then sitting down with someone who can help you dig deeper into your own personal things and bring out, what is it that we need to work on? Is it a subconscious belief, or is there something in the DNA? And we actually get in there, and so I think I remember that being a pivotal point for you coming to, because you came to me with that thing. You said some beautiful things actually, and about, my honesty and the straight talking and these different things. You said, I really feel that this is the right time and you're the right person to, to take me on this journey. So, so I'm honored, and I'm grateful, because this is what I love to do. This is what I'm born to do, so, it's my honor, like to do this and to work with all of you incredible people that are just stepping up, because we need you. The world needs you. The planet needs you. And that's the thing we need everyone doing, really looking at themselves. I want to speak to something, because obviously we work together. I want to speak to something that in one of the sessions that came through that I just thought was really cool, and I want you to talk to it, and how that I mean, I know it's hard to remember sometimes. We go up in a different state and we're doing the work, but you said something, I don't even really know who I am anymore at the start of the session. We talked through all these other things and your health and blah, blah, blah. We'd gone through, I always do that whole digging. And then towards the end of the session, it was like, you were like, oh, blah. And then we're like, you're talking about wanting to be an end of life doula. And you were saying about how you're feeling like, and about in your aloneness, you're feeling really strong. There's all these things came through. And I went, oh, hang on a minute. Now, this doesn't sound like the woman that said, I don't even really know who I am anymore. I want you to talk to that. I want you to tell me how that even, I mean, you know, if you can remember what happened up there, but as we do go up there.
Yeah, for quite some time, I didn't know where my place was. I felt almost as though I've led my life to this point, but I haven't been there. I've been sort of external from what's been going on. And that led me to believe that I didn't know who I was. And through that journey with you in that session, it was a light bulb moment, because it was, oh my goodness, okay, I do know where I stand now, but I need to work through those feelings that I've had about that, and situations that have happened. A lot of what's led me to what I want now has been grief in my life. Looking back the last 13 years, 3 pivotal people in my life have passed away. And I feel like I was so encapsulated in that grief that some things happened in that time that have really now hurting, because I'm realizing that I wasn't the person I wanted to be, particularly with my children. Yeah. Going through my grief, I wasn't the mother I wanted to be. And I wasn't the mother that I was hoping to be. And now it's only just dawned on me recently that this is what has happened. When I look back on situations that my children have had in the last 13 years and realized, oh my goodness, I wasn't who I wanted to be for them, and possibly who they needed me to be. I wasn't that mum. Yeah. And it's and now that's another grief that I'm trying to work through, is that I wasn't where I wanted to be for them. But now, if I am truly who I want to be, I will be that person for them.
You will.
And I will be, from this point going forward, not only being there for them the way I want to be, I will also be giving them some of my feelings, my thoughts, and hopefully that will encapsulate them to then step up into what their life on this planet should be for them.
And it's by being there for you. You are going to be there for you, yourself. That in turn teaches it. You can't possibly not be present when you're there for yourself. Therefore, you will then be there for them with the boundaries and with all the things that are required with children. As we know, they there's a lot that goes into it. But I love your story around the grief, and we will continue in our work together to work more through that, because I think that has a lot to do with the health situation, you know, because I'm a huge believer. I love medical intuition and that's kind of thing. I'm a huge believer. Well, I mean, it's becoming common knowledge now that a lot of our, obviously, our emotional or carried or stored trauma and all that sort of stuff is a precursor and a contributor to physical illness that basically shows up in the body.
Definitely.
It's your body going, knock, knock, knock. Excuse me, you're not freaking listening. You're not listening. So I've given you this other thing now that you have to deal with because you're not listening, you know? And I want you to listen. I want you to listen to me because I'm trying to tell you something. Yeah. So,
Yes.
and yeah, with all the chronic fatigue and the fibromyalgia and those types of things, they're wake-up calls to you, or they're trying to wake you up. They're trying to get you moving to become the real you and to process and to heal the grief and all the
Yes.
rest of it, you know, which it always stays with always, but once we shift timelines and start to shift perspectives and start to heal those real deeper layers, it changes the way we view the loss of that person, right? It literally,
Yes.
we can collapse timelines, and it's powerful work. And, you know, it means that we can have the sense of peace within us, even with, you know, what's gone on, even with the passing.
Exactly. Yes.
We're all just like, when you just peel it right back, we're all just literally consciousness having a human experience. That is it. Consciousness having a human experience. And we feel all this stuff so deeply in our hearts, and we love people, and we, you know, but at the end of it, right, it's a trip what it is to be human. It really
Yes.
is. We're in such a pivotal time, and that's why these conversations are really important, because this time that we're going through is like no other that we've experienced on this planet, like not for eons. So
Yeah.
it's a lot to traverse, and it's a lot to traverse when we've been held down with, like I talk about in my other work, by these forces that have really put the planet to sleep, essentially. So now it's like all the unpeeling and all the unpeeling and all the unpeeling. And I want to ask you, how empowered are you feeling now that you've taken a hold of this? And how empowered are you feeling around even taking control of some of those illnesses as well, now that you've taken this step?
I can definitely see that the illnesses can be overcome. I truly believe that. And the illnesses have also given me the opportunity to have the time to work on those things in order to move forward and be physically healed. For me particularly, being honest to myself, it is going to be a journey. It's not going to happen in the next month or even 6 weeks, because I have to learn things myself first. I have to get this in the right place where it's not continuously preempting things. You know, I'm terrible. I'll say it to my children. I say, don't be the what if person. I'm going to do this, but oh my goodness, what if that happens? What if that happens? But the what if,
the catastrophizer, yes.
But yep, and not necessarily positive.
No.
So I'm trying to change that. And it's difficult. You know, instead of, oh, if I do this, oh, what if I'm going to have to lie in bed for 2 days to get over it? Instead of, what if I do that and our family has a fantastic time? So what if I'm in bed for a day or something? You know, our family has had a fantastic time. I've had a good time with the children. And it was actually my GP that said to me once, I says, oh my gosh, you know, it was the school holidays, we did this with the kids and it really fatigued me. And she said, but your family had a good time. And it was, oh my goodness, yes it is. And that's important. And I think the healing of the family is also going to help with the physical healing.
For sure. For sure, 100%. It's a nucleus, right? The family is the nucleus. What is our cell? Our cell is a nucleus. These are just atoms that are just, it's a trip, of course. Everything, I love this work so much because everything flips and everything can change, and it will change. And it starts with awareness and then a choice, and then it's the work. And then it's the moving through the stages of the work, and then it's done. And honestly, you can get to a point with certain things where you might have minor trigger, or some things completely release and go, like they're gone. Other things you might have a minor trigger if they're a big thing in your life, but you'll know it because you'll drop in and you'll be like, oh yeah, no, I know what this is, and it will just get less and less as time goes by. And that's the magic,
Yes.
That's the magic. It's because it is partially magic. Some of it's partially
It is.
science and partially magic. Let's be honest.
Yes.
What this is, we're doing,
Well, it was the magic that brought me in to begin with.
It's true.
It's what? Yep.
It's synchronicity, right?
Yes. Looking back at some of the connections, with Wales, where my mother was born, and the things my grandparents brought to New Zealand, that at the time didn't see it, but then when I started to think about it, it's sort of like so magic brought me to this point. Definitely.
Yeah. And there are aspects of our physical displacement in that too, which is quite interesting, right? I mean, I'm first generation, having been born in New Zealand, but first generation, and it's like I do feel home here now, back in Croatia, which is interesting, right? But I mean, I always felt it was a second home, but I feel, I mean, I have lived all over the world, which has broken up my trajectory of not just living in one place. I grew up in New Zealand, but then I moved off. But, it's a very poignant time, and the DNA speaking to us right now, and we've got to listen. So you're getting that, you're talking about Wales, we've talked about this, and, if you're getting those little messages, drop into yourself sometimes, because that they're just speaking to you, and it's interesting what can come forth and what they're leading you to,
Definitely.
Powerful. Love it. All right, I've got a question about I want to ask you how you take this. No, not how you take this. Right. What if you met someone and they were sitting on the fence and they were going through a lot, like going through a similar pain and story to what you've been through, and they're really, really not great, and they're really afraid to step up and do what needs to happen in order to make a better go of life and to walk through with a bit more courage. What would you say to them if they were on the fence?
I'd say to them, take it cautiously, dip your toe in, sit back, reflect, dip your toe in again, and just see where it takes you.
Love it. That's really good advice.
Yeah.
It's really good advice, because do you know what I love about what you said there? About being safe with yourself. Because there's what you spoke of it before when you dived into too many different things. And not that it was too many, it was the right things that you could pull back and understand and realize and drop in.
Yes.
But it's like you need to, especially if there's a lot of trauma, and especially if maybe you've only been doing this type of work maybe for a couple of years, it's respect the process. Stop trying to make it a capitalist objective, right? That's what you're talking about. You talk about not making it a capitalist objective. I call it a capitalist objective because that's what we understand in the West. It is not that. You can't fast track it. You can't fast forward it. You can't just go snap, snap, snap. You got to live it. You got to sit in it. You got to live it. And like a wave, right? We have ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. And sometimes things are going really swimmingly well and boom, 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 and things are dropping in. And then we're back here going, oh my God, holy shit. And that's normal. That's part of being
Yeah,
human, or we wouldn't have been given
that's
those
true.
emotions to experience if it wasn't, right? And I
Yes,
feel like that's the thing that needs to be highlighted. It's like, it's not this, oh, like you see on the socials and this la la la, like spiritual fluff, I call it, false light. You know, it is
yeah,
false. It's new age consumerist spirituality. And it's bullshit because it
sure is.
doesn't do anything. It doesn't work. It doesn't, what does it do? Who does it actually help? I mean, you might as well go and sort of sit for hours just, you know, talking about a problem, which is wonderful. But until you get inside the soul, inside the subconscious, inside the body, you know, you're not going to push that through the body. So that's the same stuff. It's all there to distract people. You know, so here's another question for you. What would you say to someone who was stuck in that kind of overload, shiny object syndrome, fluff of it all? Again, probably the same advice, but I want to hear it from you. Dip your toe in. No. Yeah.
No,
No.
yeah,
Mm.
I'd suggest that they take a step backwards.
Yeah.
And observe what's going on for them and ask them what's at the core of what you're doing and why are you doing it. Because I believe, we're put on this planet for a reason. We're here to learn, and sometimes it takes a long time to learn why we may be here. Because even if we come up with an answer, we don't truly know whether that's what we're here to learn. We can surmise over what we're here to learn. And if you're in all that fluff stuff, you can't work through that process to find out what it is. So stand back, observe, truly see what you're doing this for and where you want it to take you, the possibilities of where you can go. Yeah.
Love that summation. So much wisdom and patience in that. Wisdom and patience. You're telling people to, be patient with themselves and sit back. I love that. It's really real and really good advice.
But it's interesting, because and it's a lesson for myself too.
Of course it is.
Saying this, patience is one thing that I'm working on. And to be able to express that to somebody else, it's just all part of the journey. It's raising that awareness. It's working towards the collectiveness, bringing everyone together.
And our little bits of magic that we bring to the equation, our individual unique bits of magic and of who we are, and special souls coming together that hold so much power and so much knowing and ancient wisdom, and exploring what that is for you and finding it and then bringing that magic to the table. I love that. There's so much softness yet so much strength in that. I love it. I love that. Well said. Well said. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, I think, is there anything else? I mean, if there's anything else you want to speak to, or to say for anyone that is, feeling like being courageous, but not sure if they can be, and not sure if they can step away from, the fluff and actually get real with themselves. If there's anything else you have to say, if not, I think that's, it's a wrap.
One thing I would like to say is don't give up if you don't find the right people,
Yeah.
your people,
Yeah.
to go on this journey with.
Yeah.
Keep on searching.
Yeah.
Something will come up at the right time.
Yeah.
I'm a true believer of things will be put into your life at the right time.
Yeah.
And
Divine
take
timing.
hold of those things and just go with it. Just go with it.
Love it. I love it. Divine timing right there.
Mm.
You know, and being patient again. Look at you. It's all you're being patient. Yes, you're
Mm.
preaching it. It's being patient for divine timing and sitting in the moment when it's right and trusting that the moment will come.
Yes.
You know,
Trust.
boy, it's about trust. I used to rush through, you know, oh my gosh, but this isn't happening yet. It could have been something in my business or something. It's like
Yeah.
ebbs, flows. But sometimes everything's
Yeah.
pumping. You get messages and you're setting this up, and other times it's back here and retreating. That's good. We don't always. There's a time. There's a saying. There's a time to reap, time to sow. You know, and there is.
Yes.
It's not all, you know, and this is why I also acknowledge and look forward to the cooler months and the time where we have more downtime. You know, we're coming into our summer up here, and this is crazy up here, and it's awesome fun, and it's whoop, 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 and then boom will come the autumn, and we'll be like, yeah, bring on that autumn, because
Yeah.
the tourism dies down, the this, the that, it starts to get more sane and quiet, and you can grab onto those beautiful blessings that come with that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Love it. Love
Mm.
it. Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much, Keely, for taking the time to speak with me today on my Courageous Conversations.
You are very welcome.
And I'm sure everybody has enjoyed this conversation when they hear it. They won't have heard it yet because we're just recording. But yeah, I just can't wait to see how your journey unfolds. This new life, like every day is a new life, right? So it's
It
cool.
certainly is.
Super
Yes,
cool.
and this was a wonderful way to spend an early morning. The sun's starting to come out, and I want to thank you. A wonderful start to the day.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's so good. I'm so grateful to hear that. I really am grateful. And you know, yay. And I was also looking forward to this. For here, it's actually, yeah, it's between, what is it, 8:30 something, I don't know, 8:40. So at nighttime. So and I've had a wonderful day, and this is a beautiful closer to my day, you know, and I'm just really grateful for you taking the time. So thank you very
You're
much. I'm
welcome.
going to stop the recording now. So thanks, guys.